things that we're keenly looking for today is Massaria. We're also looking for any large chunks of deadwood or anything that could be dangerous if it was to be blown out of the tree or fall out the tree because it's no longer structurally sound. So, first things first, have a good look round, a good visual inspection from the base before we even start climbing. So we want to look up here, we want to see, am I going to dislodge any deadwood, any hanging branches as I proceed up into the crown as I start my ascent. Before that, also, we want to have a good look round the base of the tree. We want to be checking for things like cavities and also fruiting bodies of mushrooms, like any fungi that might be present down there. This might be something that will affect the structural integrity of the tree. So before we start climbing, we want to be aware of any hazards. We'll have a good look round and see if any targets, such as things like expensive cars, bird feeders, nice flower bed plantings, that kind of stuff. Anything we want to avoid damaging during the process of our work. Worth noting with the Massaria, the reason why we climb the trees for the inspection is that it's most evident from a sort of brown staining or a lesion along the very top side of the limb, which affects the structural integrity of the limb, which can cause it to fail. A bit of a suspicion this limb starts to look a little bit sickly. So from my view from above, I could see that the top of the limb is starting to look a little bit discoloured in this sort of top section here. But as you can see, there's still live growth on this limb. It's not entirely dead, so it's not always going to kill the branch before it might just become unstable. So on the top side, we've got the sort of classic staining, and a key thing, which is a good indicator for all sorts of infections and issues with trees and also parts, is when the wood becomes dysfunctional, typically the bark dies and it will start to fall off, and this is the case here. I've identified it partially by the fact there's bits of bark missing from the top section of the branch. So I've gone ahead and removed it. I'm just holding it nice and safe up in the canopy up here. And yeah, my suspicion was correct. I can see where the Massaria has infected the top section of the limb where the tensional strength is in this branch. Now, you've got compressive strength in the lower part and tension in the top. Now, this is part of the reason why the limb fails, because when this tissue, or this woody tissue, becomes weakened, where it's died and it's decayed and the fungus is decaying it, that's where you'll lose that tensional strength and the branch will break and fall from the tree, obviously presenting quite a considerable hazard depending on the size of the limb that comes down. So, what I'm going to do now, and I've cut this limb, and I'm just going to chuck it down, hopefully get it out of the canopy, which isn't always possible. It's London plains. They love getting hung up on themselves. All right, so head up. Lovely. Hole in one.